There comes a point when the silence speaks louder than any press release. And right now, Hollywood's golden couple Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are watching their carefully crafted image teeter under the weight of a public legal unraveling. It's not just about fame anymore, it's about control. It's about the information they can't seem to keep buried. And now it's about the sources they're reportedly desperate to uncover. Because when the headlines shift from power couple goals to legal escalation, you know something serious is boiling underneath. Over the past few weeks, we've seen a strange and aggressive pattern emerge, a legal strategy some are calling an intimidation campaign. Creators, commentators, and journalists, many of whom have covered this ongoing saga with a critical lens, have started receiving letters, warnings, even subpoenas, all pointing back to the same central demand: who are your sources, who's giving you access to the information they want to control. This isn't just a lawsuit anymore. It's a spectacle. And the public is watching every frame of it unfold like a Netflix courtroom drama. Except this time there's no script and there's no safe ending. This is raw, unscripted fallout. And those at the center, Blake and Ryan, are allegedly fighting not just to win in court, but to stop the bleeding of public opinion, to slow the firestorm of commentary that's now outpacing their own PR machine. In this exclusive deep dive, we'll unravel the full picture: how Blake and Ryan's legal team are reportedly trying to dig into the confidential sources of media creators. We'll break down how this escalates their existing legal troubles, what rights these creators actually have, and why this could backfire spectacularly. You'll hear the timeline of key events, the commentary that caught their attention, the subpoenas that sent shockwaves through the creator community, and why more and more people are starting to push back, citing freedom of speech, press protections, and the dangers of powerful figures trying to silence dissenting voices. This is no longer just about Blake Lively's ongoing feud with Justin Baldoni. This is now a much broader issue about control in media, the growing power of independent creators, and what happens when A-list celebrities try to wrestle back the narrative. Make no mistake, they're losing control. And the more they try to suppress, the more explosive this story becomes. Let's break it all down. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are no strangers to publicity. Their carefully curated image of wittiness, philanthropy, and Hollywood glam has been a staple in celebrity culture for more than a decade. But what we're seeing now is a drastic shift from charming interviews and viral tweets to a sharp, reactive legal front aimed directly at those who have been documenting their legal entanglements, especially with the increasingly high-stakes defamation battle involving Justin Baldoni. But it's not just Justin anymore. In what insiders are calling a panic mode maneuver, legal representatives for Blake and Ryan have reportedly sent out demands to multiple content creators, asking them to reveal their sources. These aren't mainstream journalists with huge corporate backing. These are the independent voices of commentary, long-form YouTubers, writers on Substack, and even podcasters who've been covering the legal drama from every angle. Why does this matter? Because these demands may cross into a space that's protected under journalistic shield laws in many jurisdictions. And while creators are not always granted the same protections as traditional reporters, the legal gray area is more fragile than the Lively Reynolds team may have anticipated. It all began with a specific timeline. After Baldoni's legal team filed motions to introduce communications Blake allegedly sent to third parties about the case, messages that could contradict public statements, interest from creators intensified. Certain videos gained traction, dissecting leaked details from court transcripts and public filings. Commentary grew and public opinion began to shift. It wasn't long before certain creators, some with sources close to the situation, shared commentary that allegedly struck a nerve with Lively and Reynolds' inner circle. According to legal documents now surfacing in motion challenges, these celebrities' attorneys argue that some creators may have been privy to confidential legal strategy or unreleased discovery material. In response, they issued subpoenas demanding not just content removal, but identification of the individuals who provided them the information. This has raised massive alarms. Legal analysts are already warning that such actions may constitute overreach, especially if the intent is to suppress constitutionally protected speech. Several high-profile free speech attorneys have gone public, calling it a miscalculated intimidation tactic that may further damage the couple's credibility. And the backlash, it's only just begun. The moment the first content creator went public with news of a legal demand to reveal their sources, it sparked a chain reaction, unlike anything we've seen in recent entertainment legal history. What began as a private legal dispute involving Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has now spilled over into a public free speech debate, with independent creators standing up against what they see as an abuse of celebrity power. The subpoenas reportedly asked for names, email addresses, communications, and any documentation related to the sources who provided information about Blake and Ryan's legal posture. In some cases, creators were also allegedly asked to submit correspondence, with other commentators raising serious alarms about press freedom, digital privacy, and surveillance overreach. For many, this was the tipping point. These creators, some with platforms ranging from tens of thousands to millions of subscribers, decided to go public. One notable podcaster who had covered Blake Lively's deposition issues and inconsistencies in her legal filings revealed during a live stream that their attorney received a chilling message demanding immediate compliance or risk contempt of court. The creator refused, and within hours the clip had gone viral. Another YouTuber who previously posted a timeline of the case, including media optics and PR strategies surrounding Blake's public statements, also received a notice. But their response was even more pointed. They published a response video titled "We Will Not Be Silenced." In it, they broke down the difference between speculation commentary and factual reporting, reiterating their right to protect unnamed sources, in the same way legacy journalists have for decades. The response from viewers was overwhelming. Hashtags like #ProtectCreators, #FreePressNow, and #BlakeBacklash began trending across platforms. Legal experts were invited on live streams, civil rights organizations started weighing in, and even some mainstream outlets cautiously acknowledged that the legal strategy coming from Blake and Ryan's camp was raising eyebrows, particularly among legal scholars who specialize in media law. The core issue is this: do creators deserve source protection? Technically, shield laws vary by jurisdiction. Some U.S. states offer full protection to any party engaged in news gathering regardless of platform. Others provide conditional protection, which often hinges on the nature of the reporting and whether the individual meets specific criteria. But there's a growing trend toward recognizing that digital media creators, especially those involved in investigative commentary, should receive the same protections as journalists. In this case, many of the creators targeted had indeed reviewed public court documents, consulted legal experts, and cited reliable information from industry insiders, information that was often corroborated in later filings. So the notion that they were merely spreading rumors doesn't hold up when the facts they discussed later appeared in verified legal records. What's even more important is the precedent this sets. If celebrities can legally compel independent creators to reveal sources, especially without a strong showing of defamation or harm, it creates a chilling effect. That's not just speculation, it's a concern raised by actual law professors and former media litigators who say this moment could define the limits of creator protection going forward. This isn't to say creators are above the law, but the idea that commentary or critical reporting, even if it's tough or uncomfortable, should be suppressed or punished through legal means is deeply controversial. Meanwhile, the creators themselves are not backing down. In fact, the legal push from Blake and Ryan's side may have done the opposite of what they intended. Rather than quelling the narrative, it sparked a much larger conversation about accountability and power in media. Creators who had previously remained neutral are now chiming in. Some say this is the first time they've ever seen such aggressive tactics used against people simply discussing a case already in the public eye. Others are questioning what Blake and Ryan might be trying to hide and whether this legal maneuver is an attempt to control damaging revelations before they can be corroborated in court. As of now, at least 3 creators have announced that they're seeking legal counsel from public interest law groups. One particularly prominent channel even launched a legal defense fund, with thousands of fans donating to ensure their voice isn't silenced. In a surprising twist, a handful of celebrities have also begun subtly weighing in. One actor who worked with Ryan Reynolds on a previous project liked a tweet calling the subpoenas embarrassing. Another actress who previously praised Blake Lively's philanthropic work quietly unfollowed her after a podcast segment about the subpoenas went viral. It's becoming clear that the PR optics are shifting fast, and as this drama plays out across YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter, the mainstream press is starting to pick up the pieces. One digital media outlet ran the headline, "Blake Lively's legal gamble may have sparked a free speech firestorm." Another described the move as legally ambitious but publicly disastrous. But the most important reaction of all may be coming from the court itself, because behind all the noise and backlash, a motion is now pending, one that challenges the legality of these subpoenas and seeks to quash them on the basis of First Amendment protections. If that motion is granted, and some legal analysts say it's likely, it will send a powerful message that content creators cannot be bullied into submission. That source confidentiality, even in the age of digital commentary, still matters. And if the motion fails, well, then we'll be looking at a possible constitutional battle that could go far beyond Blake and Ryan and into the heart of modern free speech in America. Because right now the court of public opinion has already started making up its mind, and it's not in the couple's favor. What Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds likely expected to be a quiet behind-the-scenes legal maneuver has become a full-scale communications disaster, and make no mistake, this isn't just a bad news cycle. This is a self-inflicted PR crisis unfolding in real time, one that not only threatens their public credibility, but could shift how celebrities interact with the digital media ecosystem forever. In public relations terms, there's a golden rule: don't escalate a fire unless you're absolutely sure you can contain the burn. Unfortunately, that rule was broken the moment legal teams attached to Blake and Ryan sent subpoenas that reached into the realm of independent digital commentary. Instead of silencing creators, the strategy set off a domino effect. Creators who had never commented on the Lively Baldoni case began doing so. Now, seeing the situation as bigger than a celebrity dispute, it was becoming a free speech issue. And once you cross that threshold, public interest tends to explode. Now it's not just about who said what in a defamation case. It's about whether powerful figures are trying to control public discourse through legal intimidation. Here's where things get more complicated and legally volatile. Behind the scenes, several legal aid organizations are reportedly monitoring the situation, especially as reports emerge that creators are receiving cease and desist letters with language demanding immediate action. According to media lawyers familiar with these cases, such letters walk a very fine line. If they're overly aggressive or suggest punitive actions without sufficient legal basis, they could be interpreted as coercive, potentially giving creators grounds to counter with legal action of their own. More troubling is the tone of some of the communications allegedly sent by the couple's legal team. A leaked draft of one notice reportedly sent to a YouTuber with under 100,000 subscribers included language implying that if the individual refused to cooperate, they might face legal costs and be held responsible for damages. While that language isn't entirely unheard of in legal correspondence, experts say it borders on intimidation, especially given the creator's relatively small reach and lack of legal representation at the time. That notice became a lightning rod. Within hours, several creators came together to coordinate a public response. A live stream event titled Enough is Enough Creators Unite pulled in over 250,000 live viewers, featuring commentary from digital rights attorneys, free speech advocates, and journalists. The energy in the chat was electric. Hashtags like #NotYourNarrative and #creators are not criminals trended overnight. Even more telling, the sentiment in Hollywood began to quietly shift. Industry insiders started to whisper that the couple's team had overplayed their hand. Publicists and talent managers, some of whom work with both creators and celebrities, noted that this tactic may damage future collaborations. No one wants to be the next person dragged into a lawsuit for commenting on public information, one anonymous PR executive was quoted saying. Then came a pivotal moment in the case, one that changed the game. A judge overseeing a related motion in the Baldoni lawsuit issued a preliminary opinion, questioning the legitimacy of wide-reaching subpoenas aimed at digital commentators. While the opinion was not a final ruling, the judge expressed concern that such subpoenas could create a chilling effect on media freedom, especially if the individuals in question were not party to the original litigation. In that one statement, the entire tone of the case shifted. Suddenly, creators had not only public support, they had early legal validation. The irony is rich. In trying to suppress public scrutiny, Blake and Ryan's legal strategy may have made things worse. Now far more people are watching the case, coverage has broadened. Viewership on breakdown videos has doubled, public documents are being passed around and dissected frame by frame. What once would have been a minor flare-up is now a full-fledged media firestorm. The broader implications are significant. Legal experts say this case could mark a watershed moment where courts formally address how much protection creators are entitled to when they cover real legal cases, especially when they cite public documents and offer reasonable commentary. For creators, this is about more than just resisting subpoenas. It's about the right to speak without fear, to report on the public dealings of public figures, especially when those dealings impact their massive platforms and influence millions of fans. And for Blake and Ryan, the fallout is growing by the day. A new wave of commentary has begun, focused not just on their legal tactics, but what those tactics imply. Do they truly believe they can control the internet? Do they think their status makes them immune to criticism, or are they so deeply entangled in this legal drama that they're acting out of fear? rather than strategy. Meanwhile, some of their biggest supporters have gone quiet. Social media accounts once buzzing with support for the couple have fallen silent. Former co-stars haven't commented. Even brand partners have carefully avoided commenting even when asked. And fans, some of whom once viewed Blake and Ryan as Hollywood's most relatable pair, are now openly questioning their judgment. In an age where image is currency and public trust is everything, the couple appears to be gambling with their legacy. And unless they pivot and fast, the damage may already be done. In the end, this situation is no longer just about two celebrities facing legal scrutiny. It has become a defining moment in the conversation around creator rights, freedom of the press in the digital age, and the limits of celebrity control in the public square. What started as a lawsuit involving Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has now snowballed into something much larger, something that speaks to the power dynamics between Hollywood elites and the independent voices who dare to challenge their narrative. Blake and Ryan may have hoped that demanding source information would slow the momentum of critical coverage, but it has done the exact opposite. It's amplified public interest, it's mobilized the commentary community, and it's drawn national and even international attention to how far celebrities might go to preserve their image, even at the potential expense of legal norms and free speech protections. What's most striking about this entire situation is that the people being targeted are not powerful corporations or media empires. They're individuals. They're commentators, creators, writers, and podcasters who took the time to follow a public legal case and speak on what they observed. And in a healthy democratic society, that's not only allowed, it's essential. Public discourse depends on the ability of people to question, analyze, and report on those in power, whether in politics or entertainment. The legal and PR missteps by Blake and Ryan's team could now serve as a cautionary tale for others in the public eye, attempting to strong-arm independent creators into revealing private sources or removing commentary doesn't just create a legal mess, it sets off a cultural alarm. Audiences are more informed now than ever. They understand when something feels off, and they know when someone is trying to control a narrative through force instead of facts. As this situation continues to unfold in courtrooms and online forums alike, one thing remains clear. The era of unchallenged celebrity control over the media is over. Today, creators can speak with influence, hold the powerful to account, and amplify stories that mainstream outlets may miss. And attempts to silence those voices, they only make them louder. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds may still have legal teams, publicists, and resources, but what they've lost in the process is something much harder to recover: trust. Trust from viewers who once supported them, trust from creators who once admired them, and trust from the public who now sees their actions as not only defensive, but potentially dangerous. In a digital world, control is an illusion. The truth, however inconvenient, always finds a way to rise. And right now, that truth is echoing louder than any subpoena ever could. This isn't just about one case anymore. It's about a movement, and it's just getting started.